Okay. Okay, go ahead now. So may I begin? Okay, okay, that's good.
That's good.
Perfect. Let's start. Okay.
So it's about 10:30 and we can start today's session. And before I introduce to our guest today, I'd like to introduce myself because there are so many new faces here. My name is Raman Gandhi, and I'm the president of FISCO. FISCO stands for Friends of Indian Senior Citizens Organization. And I'm graduated from VJTI Bombay in mechanical engineering, and I've been living here since last 45 years with my wife, Ramila. So we are having a good family here. 11 years ago, Rita Shah, while she was working with the seniors, she decided to help the seniors in person and in their routine activities. And out of that good thought, FISCO was born, Friends of Indian Citizens Organization was formed. And today we have about 400 members in our organization. We have every Wednesday lunch, we have a meditation, and we get together and share each other's feelings and heart and mind. So it's kind of bringing seniors together. I see this kind of movement is going on all around the world. In Mumbai, where I came from, I see a lot of seniors organization has popped up in the last 10, 15 years. So it is very good. And now I'd like to thank all my sponsors, our sponsors here. And some sponsors are kind of a Minutemen organizer, just like they're the sleeping partner who help us in the food organization. And some are their donors. So we thank everybody. And this facility is given to us from Burlington Senior Centers, and we are thankful to them also. Now, coming to our speakers today. Our speaker, Mr. Prakash Shesh, is a leading management trainer from Nagpur, India, and has conducted over 700 training programs for leading corporations. Mr. Prakash has published over 350 articles in leading newspaper and is the author of the bestseller book, In and Out of the Box. He is a popular TEDx speaker, which is my favorite channel, and is a past district governor of Rotary International. Incidentally, Mr. Prakash is also graduated from Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad, and after completing his master's degree in IIT Delhi. So here is Mr. Prakash, आमच्या senior consultant मंडळात आपच्या स्वार्थिक आभार आहे.
I'll stand up initially, then I will sit down. Ladies and gentlemen in this hall, as well as many of you who have logged on to Zoom for this talk, a hearty namaskar from all of you, from Prakash Shesh. I like this greeting namaskar much better than good morning, good afternoon for 2 or 3 reasons, and I'm sure you'll agree with me. One of them is it's completely time neutral. I mean, you don't have to really bother about what time of the day is it before saying namaskar. You can say it anytime, all 24 hours. Second advantage is that it is completely pandemic protected. You don't have to touch anyone's hand in order to, in a good morning, you generally tend to shake someone's hands. But according to me, the third and the most important reason why namaskar is preferred by me is because of its meaning. What is its meaning? It says, I bow down before the goodness inside you. I mean, what better greeting could you have for every corner of the globe, irrespective of the religion, culture, community that you belong to? So therefore, I prefer namaskar. But my training, just like everyone else's, has been to say good morning, good afternoon, and I'm trying to break out of that habit and completely concentrate on namaskar. I haven't succeeded completely, but I am trying to. I'm thankful to Mr. Raman Gandhi for introducing me so well. You know, I've organized in Rotary and elsewhere hundreds of functions. And I used to think as to why do they praise the main speaker so much? You know, there are two occasions when people are praised irrespective of how they are. One is, you know, in the funeral, and the second is during such occasions. On these two occasions, people praise the person. Then I realized that there are 2-3 reasons for that also. One is, you praise the guy before he opens his mouth, you know, like you've clapped, you've praised me. According to me is important. But the second reason is, I have always believed that it's a silent message from the organizers to the speaker. कि हम आपकी तारीफ कर रहे हैं, हमारे ऑडियंस को बोर मत करना. It's like a give and take, a little give and take कि हम आपकी तारीफ कर देते हैं, आप जरा अपने दायरे में रहना. So it's for these two reasons. But I thank you very much for that introduction, and I hope this continues wherever I go. Now, before we plunge on to the talk on maximization of happiness, you must have realized that I have started this talk on a slightly analytical note. जिसको हम हिंदी में कहते हैं विश्लेषणात्मक भूमिका. Why have I started it on an analytical note? Because what I am going to share with you today will require some power of analysis on your part. All of you are senior citizens and have used your power of analysis throughout. Otherwise, you wouldn't have reached the stage that you have. But in today's talk, especially, I would like you to bring forth your power of analysis. You know, in deciding where you agree with me. If you do, take it inside your personality. If you don't, throw it away. We've all reached the stage where we are no longer embarrassed to reject ideas of what other people suggest to us. And that's why I'm starting this on a slightly analytical note. There are 3 preliminary things I wanted to mention before I plunge on to my main topic of today, which is maximization of happiness. The first preliminary thought that I want you to take home with you is, and I'll be very brief about it because I want to go into the main content that I want to deliver. That most B schools in India, I mean, and abroad, and you stay at a place where you have Harvard Business School right here, the doyen of all business schools. Most business schools will teach you maximization of wealth, but I'm not sure whether they will teach you maximization of happiness. So that's a slight lacuna in the syllabus of many business schools. They're trying to make up, but including my alma mater at IIM Ahmedabad, we haven't yet been able to devise a syllabus which includes the entire spectrum from wealth to happiness. So when it comes to maximization of wealth, I'm sure you agree that, which one is easier according to you? Maximization of wealth or maximization of happiness? According to me, maximization of happiness is easier. Why? Because when you want to maximize your health, you have to deal with so many agencies. I mean, maybe you want to start a business, so you need a good business idea, then you need capital, then you need resources, then you need employees, then you need government approval. You have 7-8 windows, from where you need to get a clearance before you could probably maximize your wealth. Go to the other side. What is maximization of happiness involved? It involves only one agency. You are very right. Yes, it's a single window clearance system. All that you need to deal with when you want to maximize happiness is yourself. And isn't it easier to deal with one window than multiple windows? And there again, someone whom you know, which means yourself. So therefore, if you compare the two, according to me, choose the easier path. The easier path is indeed maximization of happiness. This is one thought The second thing between wealth and happiness is all of us have reached a stage, I mean, surely all of you have, and I too have. We have understood that above a certain threshold of wealth, any incremental wealth does not give you proportionately incremental happiness. So while some wealth is necessary, I mean, you can't be a pauper on the streets, some wealth is necessary. But beyond that, wealth does not give you proportionately incremental happiness. And the best example is like in India. I'm sure you must be remembering your days. When you had a motorcycle, then you thought, let me have a car, my first entry-level car. So you spent maybe 2-3 lakhs of rupees to buy the first entry-level car in those days. Now you have to spend a little more, but it's just a matter of comparison. You got a huge amount of happiness because you graduated from a motorcycle to your first car. That equation, unfortunately, doesn't exist in this country. Everyone has a car. So you getting a car or your first car doesn't give you as much happiness. Think of the Indian situation for a moment. Then after a few years of prosperity and more wealth, you thought, let me go to a bigger car. So let's say you went from a Maruti to maybe what, an Accent or a Honda or something else. So again, you had to spend some amount of money and you again got some happiness. But you will realize you spent probably the same amount of money for the first graduation from a motorcycle to a first car, while going from the first car to the next car. The happiness was there, but it wasn't as much as it was for the first time. And then, of course, you decide, I want a Mercedes, or in this country, a Tesla or whatever. And you spend a lot of money. So this you will understand is the law of diminishing returns applies to this particular phenomenon. Every time you invest the same amount of money, the amount of happiness that you get should have been the same because now you own a Tesla. So people are looking up to you. But now the happiness that you got from motorcycle to your first car is still quite a bit. So therefore, this law of diminishing returns applies to increase of wealth when you compare it with the amount of happiness that you derive from. This is the second preliminary thought I wanted you to carry in your mind before you listen to what I am going to share with you. And the third preliminary thought is that we must distinguish between happiness and pleasure. You know, these two are different things. Many a times we confuse happiness with pleasure and probably take a wrong path in life. Now, the easiest way to distinguish is that maybe on a hot summer afternoon, I mean, your summers are on no patch on what summers we have in India. But when you drink a bottle of Coca-Cola or some kind of a lemonade or something on a hot summer afternoon, what is it that you get? You get pleasure. You're absolutely right. You don't get happiness. What you get is pleasure. Maybe, you know, another example which I want to give you. Suppose, you know, my back is scratching a lot. But now standing in front of so many people, I can't take my hand back and scratch it. You know, the rules of decency don't permit that. So as soon as the speech gets over, I run to another room and then I scratch to my heart's content. What am I now getting? I'm still getting pleasure. But let's say, take another instance where, let's say one of your relatives or your sons or your grandsons gets admitted to Harvard Business School. Now, what is it that you're getting? You're getting happiness. So you realize that you need to distinguish between happiness and pleasure before you hear to whatever I'm going to share with you on maximization of happiness. You know, for maximizing our pleasure, we don't require another guy to tell us. You don't require a talk like this to tell you how to maximize your pleasure. We have that DNA inside us. We can all maximize our pleasure with least efforts. But when it comes to maximizing happiness, it's a different ballgame. So you'll realize, let's just remember that the main difference between the two is that while pleasure is mostly physical, scratching, drinking a cold drink on a hot day, this is mostly physical, and ice cream, yes, what he says is right. Happiness is mostly mental. In fact, it's completely mental. So therefore, this is the difference between the two, and this is what I'd like to clarify before we get on. What I have done is, instead of giving you a long, boring talk on happiness, there are hundreds of books written on happiness. But in maybe about 40 minutes time, I need to deliver to you something which could be implemented by you when you go home. At least some of them, because I'm sure you would be implementing most other things. But some of these maybe you could take back home. So what I've done is I've divided my talk into sharing with you what I think are 12 effective strategies to maximize happiness. So I'll count them one by one up to 12. And hopefully you might agree with some of them. And since I'm giving them to you in specific installments, it should prove to be more useful than if I were to just give a rambling discourse on what happiness is about and how to go about it. So if you like these 12 strategies, very good. If you don't like these 12 strategies, even then very good, because there is no compulsion here that you need to agree with everything that I say. One thing about these 12 strategies are all of them are zero cost strategies. And as people of Indian origin, you'll understand the importance of zero cost things. Oh, we love zero cost things, don't we? We love them. I mean, even if we don't need it, we'll buy that from Big Bazaar or wherever and keep it saying, कि नहीं नहीं, we'll justify saying, कि अरे भाई zero में मिल रहा था, तो क्यों नहीं ले लो? भले आप हाँ free में मिला, so the free has a different connotation to persons with Indian origin. अब Americans का मुझे पता नहीं, इतनी साइक उनकी मैंने अभी तक स्टडी करी नहीं है. But even then, I think across the world, zero is an attractive kind of a proposition, especially when it relates to the cost of whatever you are acquiring. Okay, let's straight away plunge into these 12 strategies. Number one is that if you want to maximize your happiness, you need to be very clear about what makes you happy. I found so many people who want to maximize happiness, but if I ask them, okay, I said, here is a paper and please write down, what is it that will make you happy? Write simple sentences or maybe, God knows, words, just bullet points. That these are the 3 things which will make me happy. These are the 5 things which will make me happy. They are unable to write even a single word on that paper. So, I mean, if you don't know where to reach, how will you ever reach there? I think that's common sense. So I would suggest that those of you who have not yet thought about it, I'm sure all of you are senior citizens, so you, I'm sure, must have thought of it. But in case you haven't, please do this exercise. Go home today, take out a piece of paper and write down the 3 or 4 things that will make you happy at this stage of life. I mean, I realized I stay with my grandchildren here in Arlington. And treating children and grandchildren is so different in America than it is in India. अरे इंडिया में तो हमारे माँ बाप ने हमको एक चाटा लगा दिया था, तो हम देखो ऐसे हो गए. I mean, I'm not saying chata is the right way of raising children. I mean, psychologists would not agree, and even I would feel that yes, that is equivalent. According to me, it's taken to the extreme in this country. ये मेरा opinion है. पता नहीं आप लोग सहमत हैं कि नहीं. तो I mean, I'm sure आपको लगता होगा कि यार ये मेरा grandchild के काबू में नहीं आ रहा है, इसको एक कम से कम पैर पे तो चाटा लगाऊंगा.
People are joining and not muting themselves. Okay. I'm just gonna stay here. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe that will make you happy. मैंने तो अपने ग्रैंडचिल्ड्रन को कह रखा है कि अगले समय तुम्हारे पेरेंट्स जब तुम्हें इंडिया को लाने वाले हैं, इट्स गोइंग टू बी अ स्पैंकिंग ट्रिप. जैसे बॉम्बे लैंड होगा आपका एयरक्राफ्ट, तो आपको पकड़ के वो, क्योंकि वहां के रूल्स के मुताबिक सब ठीक है, चाटे मारना बस उधर जाओगे. मैंने कहा तुम ऐसे मजाक से मैं उनको कहता हूँ, उनको भी पता है मैं मजाक कर रहा हूँ उनसे. बट माय सेंट्रल पॉइंट इज दैट please go and write down the 2 or 3 things that will make you happy as of now. और ये कोई पत्थर की लकीर नहीं है कि आज लिख दिया तो वही अब आगे चलकर रहने वाला है. You can change it every week if you want, every month if you want. There is no compulsion that the same things will make you happy now and maybe 6 months later. Things change, our personalities change or whatever, situation changes. But please write down, because unless you write down and unless you are clear that these are the things that will make me happy, how will you ever march towards those things. So this is my first point, very commonsensical, but oft missed by most people who are seeking happiness. The second strategy of maximizing your happiness relates to an experiment which was conducted right here in Harvard Business School many years ago. They're all intelligent students there. So a professor asked them saying that, please tell me, I'm going to give you two situations and you've got to choose one of those two. And what were these two situations? They said in the first situation, after completing the course, you got an offer and a salary of $100,000 per annum or whatever. And your friend has got an offer of $75,000 per annum. In the second situation, you got an offer of $150,000 per annum, but your friend got an offer of $175,000 per annum. So he asked them, which of these two situations would you choose? You will be surprised to know that overwhelmingly those intelligent students chose the first situation. The professor kept on explaining to them to look in situation 2 as against 100,000 in situation 1. You are getting 150,000. Why are you choosing situation 1? And he said, most of the students said, we are choosing situation 1 because we are happy getting more than our colleagues. It doesn't matter if in situation 2 I got more, but in situation 1, isko to kam mile na mujhse. So this leads us to the second strategy of happiness. If you compete, nothing wrong. I mean, in modern day, you can't but compete, I agree. But I'm not saying completely shun competition. But I would suggest to you to compete with yourself, not so much with others. You can see the performance of others and benchmark your own performance on that basis. Yes, that is okay. I mean, if one corporation has excellent practices to follow and another corporation follows those practices, there's nothing wrong in that. So you can benchmark yourself on someone else's good practices or successful strategies. But don't compete with them to the extent of making yourself unhappy. कि यार मुझे ये नहीं मिला, देखो उसको वो मिल रहा है, मुझे ये नहीं मिला. My neighbor has a Tesla, I am still on whatever a beat up car in your economy is. I don't remember those names as often as I do, as quickly as I do. So the second mantra for happiness, or I would say strategy, would be that while you can benchmark your performance on the basis of what the best guys around you are achieving, please compete with yourself. You can set targets for yourself saying that, okay, I lost 5 kgs in the last 1 year. This year I'm going to lose 7 kgs. Okay? That's a good way of making yourself happy. And when you achieve that, you are happy. As against that, you keep on looking at Gandhi Sahab, he lost 7 kgs and I lost only 3 kgs. Gadbad ho gayi. I'm always unhappy because he lost 7 and I lost 3. So therefore, benchmark others' successful strategies, but compete with yourself. That is my second strategy for increasing happiness. The third strategy is, all of us face with disagreements wherever we go. There is a Japanese proverb, I'm sure you have heard of it. It said that when 2 people always agree, then one of them must be useless. If he says A, she also says A. So we need only one of them because we know what their decision is. But it goes on to say that if 2 people constantly disagree, then both of them are useless. Because they're not losing to anything productive, they're leading to anything productive. He's constantly disagreeing with her. So why we don't need both of them? They're spoiling the environment of this meeting or whatever. So, having told you about that Japanese proverb, let me also tell you that most of the psychological research now says that intelligent people rarely agree with each other. The reverse of that is not true. That means if you agree with somebody, don't presume you are intelligent. Those of you who learned logic in your science and engineering, or even if A implies B, B does not imply A. So therefore, it says that intelligent, and it's quite natural for intelligent people not to agree with each other because each one of has his own perspective of how to solve problems based on his own experience in life. And all intelligent people have different experiences according to which they come to different conclusions and different strategies to apply to different problems. And therefore, it is very rare that intelligent people will agree with each other. So please take that time in as a benchmark. But what I'm trying to say, where does the happiness come in?
Oh,
That
good.
disagreement.
I'll just see them and go back.
That's good. I'll bye.
Hello? Yeah. Okay. No, it's the new people are getting added and they are not unmuting, keeping themselves mute. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll stay.
Now, disagreement usually leads to unhappiness. Why? Because most of us feel disagreement is like enmity. Oh, he doesn't agree with me on who should be the next president of America. He's in a different camp. I'm in a different camp. I don't think we can have dinner together. Kind of thing. I'm exaggerating, but I mean, I hope you understand what I mean. Disagreement leads to enmity, is what most of us feel. And that leads to a lot of unhappiness. So my strategy for you not to let that happen is that if I disagree with her, fine, I'll make one more attempt to make her see my point of view. If she still doesn't agree, I'll make another attempt to make her see my point of view. And if she still doesn't agree, let's agree to disagree. Fine, I mean, it's all right. I mean, we're all intelligent people. We might have our own opinions and own methods. Why should it boil down to whether I'll have dinner with you or whether I'll visit you? Vagara, vagara. So if you take this in your mind that disagreement is not enmity, in the field of politics, this is not true. You are either here or you are there. You can't be in between. त्रिशंकु जैसे नहीं हो सकते आप या तो इधर हैं या उधर हैं. पर हम लोग पॉलिटिक्स में थोड़ी हैं. और है भी तो ठीक है. उनके लिए मैं कहूँ कि जब तक आप पॉलिटिक्स में हैं तब तक लगिए, अपने प्रिंसिपल्स लगाइए आप. पर जब आप नॉर्मल वर्ल्ड में आ जाओगे तो do what I am suggesting to you. Don't think disagreement is enmity. It's not. Because otherwise you will, get more unhappiness rather than getting more happiness. My fourth strategy is that uncertainty leads to a lot of unhappiness. I mean, any kind of uncertainty leads to a lot of unhappiness. And the prime example that I can give you is of death. Death is completely uncertain. And doesn't it cause the maximum amount of grief to us? We are constantly worried. Kya hoga? But one doesn't have to quote the extreme example of death. There could be uncertainties elsewhere also. All of you are from India, so you will understand. कभी कभी अपन रेलवे इंक्वायरी को फोन करते हैं कि क्यों भाई मेरी ट्रेन कैसे चल रही है. वो कहता है आपकी ट्रेन सर इंडेफिनेटली लेट है. अरे मर गए. इंडेफिनेटली लेट. वो बताता 2 घंटे लेट है तो चलो हम कुछ कर लेते, 2 घंटे और कुछ काम कर लेते. 3 घंटे बताता तो भी कर लेता, कुछ सर्टेन अमाउंट बताता तो कर लेते. पर उसने तो इंडेफिनेटली कह दिया. अब तो मैं गैस बर्नर पे बैठा हूँ तो उसको हर आधे घंटे में फोन करके पूछना पड़ेगा मुझे भाई मेरी ट्रेन कैसे. आपको मैं इंडिया की याद दिला रहा हूँ, हालांकि आप शायद 25-30 साल हो गए इंडिया छोड़कर. फिर भी uncertainty therefore leads to a lot of unhappiness because you're constantly under tension, anxiety, pressure, vagara vagara. So what is the solution to this? I mean, can we lead a life with no uncertainties? That's not possible. So what my strategy to you is, my suggestion to you is, we all have 3 phases of our life: the past, present, and the future. According to me, there is no point in being in the past for a very long time because it's gone, dead and gone. Whatever has happened in our past life is dead and gone. Similarly, there's no point in being in the future or to think about the future so much that you become anxious. Ki kya hoga? Is my medical health insurance adequate? I mean, all kinds of things in the future keep troubling us, don't they? The least uncertain amongst these 3 periods in your life is the present. प्रेजेंट में अनसर्टेनिटीज नहीं होती ऐसा मेरा कहना नहीं, पर इन तीनों को कंपेयर यदि आप करोगे, इनकी तुलना करोगे तो प्रेजेंट में जितनी अनसर्टेनिटीज हैं वो सबसे कम है. So therefore try and be in the present as much as you can, and you would have automatically ensured that the amount of uncertainties or the number of uncertainties that you cannot completely eliminate them, but at least the number of uncertainties that you have would be reduced to the minimum. So if you reduce uncertainties, you cannot eliminate them. Uncertainties get eliminated only after you die. There is no uncertainty now. You are dead and gone. But during your lifetime, present is the time that you need to live in. जिससे कि आपको uncertainties कम करने में सफलता यदि मिल जाए, तो I'm sure you will be a happier person than otherwise. Chaliye, I'm coming to my strategy number 5, and this is a strategy which is greatly promoted by Hinduism. I mean, since Hinduism is a predominant religion in India, मैं आप उसके बारे में बता रहा हूँ. यहाँ भी आप ज्यादातर आप लोग शायद हिंदू हो. What does our religion tell us in order to achieve happiness? It says reduce your desires. है ना? अब हम गीता में पढ़ते हैं, इधर पढ़ते हैं, लोगों के प्रवचन सुनते हैं, फिर अपनी रोज की जिंदगी में जब जाते हैं तो फिर हम काय के डिजायर्स कम करने, हमारे तो डिजायर्स बढ़ ही रहे हैं. जो मैंने आपको शुरू में एग्जांपल दिया था डिजायर्स बढ़ने का, मतलब पहले आपने मारुति खरीदी, उसके बाद आपको लगा कि अब कोई एक्सेंट खरीदनी चाहिए, उसके बाद मर्सिडीज खरीदनी चाहिए, फिर पता नहीं आप शायद टेस्ला खरीदोगे, फिर आपको एक हेलीकॉप्टर चाहिए, क्या क्या चाहिए, और इस बीच में आप मर गए. तो आप तो एक अतृप्त आत्मा करके ही मरे ना. अरे क्या यार, मैं टेस्ला नहीं खरीद सकता. मतलब जिंदगी के किसी मोड़ पर आप तृप्त नहीं थे. तो रिलीजन आपको सिंपल स्ट्रैटेजी देता है कि यार अपने डिजायर्स इतने मत बढ़ाओ, अपनी इच्छाएं इतनी मत बढ़ाओ, जिससे कि तुम्हारे जिंदगी में सुख की कमी हो. अब हम ये सुनते हैं, समझते भी हैं, पर उसको इम्प्लीमेंट नहीं करते. अकॉर्डिंग टू मी, डू दैट. गेट आउट ऑफ दिस विशियस साइकिल ऑफ बिग, बेटर, कॉस्टलियर. ठीक है यार, रहने दो ना, ठीक है, लेट इट बी कॉस्टलियर, इट मस्ट बी गुड, इट हैज दिस फैसिलिटी व्हिच प्रेजेंटली माय गैजेट डज नॉट हैव. चलो ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं, उसकी जरूरत ही नहीं है मुझे उस फैसिलिटी. तो डिजायर्स लिमिट करना, दिस इज इजियर सेड देन डन, आई कैन टेल यू. मैं कह तो रहा हूं इतनी आसानी से कि जैसे कुछ बिल्कुल यहां से निकलकर आप अपनी डिजायर पे काबू पा लोगे. ऐसा नहीं होता जिंदगी. You need a lot of efforts to control your desire, but at least start making efforts. Or I'm sure all of us are at such a stage of life that it should be easier for us to control our desires because we have achieved most of our desires. पर फिर भी हम किसी के पीछे भाग रहे हैं, तो फिर I think we have ourselves to blame. तो इस स्टेज में आपको पता है ना, आपके वॉरेन बफेट जो है, आप वर्ल्ड वाइड फेमस इन्वेस्टर हैं. I believe he's staying in the same house which he used to stay 25 years ago, and he carries the same, he rides the same car. अरे उससे तो सीखो कुछ. वो तो हिंदू भी नहीं है बेचारा, फिर भी he is following policies which Hinduism gives a lot of importance. Reduce your desires. Try this technique. It's a zero cost strategy. Zero cost क्या? According to me, you save a lot of cost. तो खर्च करने के बजाय आपके पैसे बचेंगे यदि आप अपनी इच्छाओं पे काबू पा सकोगे. All right, we've come halfway. My sixth strategy to you to maximize your happiness is just like I said, reduce your desires in the previous one. Try and increase your curiosity. Curiosity has no age limit. हमें लगता है कि बच्चों में curiosity होती है, वो बार बार पूछ रहे थे ये क्या है, वो क्यों है, ऐसा क्यों है. They pester us with questions. But psychology now says increase. See, I'm sure all of us agree that children are happier than us. Yeah. Or rather, when we were children, we were much more happier than what we are today. Yes. तो अब इतना simple example अपने सामने रहने के बावजूद, why are we not retaining that one quality in children which makes them happier? And what is that quality? I mean, there are others. They have less worries. They don't have to worry where the next food will come on your dining table. वो काफी ठीक है. But there is one important difference when we were children than what we are today, and that is our curiosity was at its best when we were children. And psychologists are saying, why don't you learn from that? Why don't you maintain your curiosity at the same level, if not at the same level, at least try to achieve that. देखिए हम IQ के पीछे पढ़ते हैं कि IQ बढ़ना चाहिए, हम SQ के पीछे पढ़ते हैं कि नहीं स्पिरिचुअल क्वेश्चन पढ़ना चाहिए, हम EQ के पीछे पड़ते हैं कि नहीं, इमोशनल क्वेश्चन बच्चों में बढ़ना चाहिए ताकि they will become successful people. I am giving you a new term today. It's not written in any psychology books. Try and increase your CQ. What is CQ? Curiosity quotient. अब क्या है curiosity quotient के बारे में मैं एक अलग लेक्चर कभी अगले समय आऊंगा तो लूंगा आपके लिए. फिलहाल मैं 2-3 उदाहरण आपको देता हूँ कि आपकी क्यूरियोसिटी जितनी रहनी चाहिए थी उतनी है या नहीं है. जिंदगी के इस पड़ाव पर आप लोग पहुंच गए हैं और क्यूरियोसिटी आपकी क्या उतनी है जितनी रहनी चाहिए थी. तो चलिए मैं 1-2 ऐसे ही सवाल पूछता हूँ. इन सवालों के जवाब यदि आपको आ गए तो समझ लीजिए कि भाई अपनी क्यूरियोसिटी काफी ठीक ठाक है, और नहीं आए तो बुरा मत मानना, कोशिश करिए क्यूरियोसिटी बढ़ाने की. मेरा पहला सवाल आपसे ये है. अब आप बोलोगे ये देखो आप हमको बगैर किसी वार्निंग के ये सवाल पूछ रहे हैं. ये सवाल ऐसे कोई नहीं है, आपकी कोई परीक्षा में नहीं ले रहा हूँ, ना तो किसी सिलेबस से ये पढ़ के आने से फायदा होता. जिंदगी के जिस मकाम पे आप पहुंच गए हो आपको इनके जवाब आने ही चाहिए थे, और नहीं आते हैं तो यू हैव गॉट अ माइनस मार्क इन योर CQ. व्हाई डू वी से टच वुड? टच वुड या अंग्रेजी एक्सप्रेशन आप लोग सब इस्तेमाल करते होंगे कि टच वुड. जैसे गांधी साहब ने कहा होगा कि यार टच वुड आज का स्पीकर बोर न करे अपने को. कहीं ऐसा, मतलब टच वुड इज यूजुअली यूज्ड कि भी मेरा लक बरकरार रहे. You know, my luck should continue. I won a lottery. I won a lottery prize, and I said, touch wood, I hope this was not a misprint in the newspaper or in the internet portal where you saw that number. Why do we use the word touch wood? Why not touch metal? Why not touch water? Why not touch something else? Why only touch wood?
It's nature, connecting with nature.
Yeah.
Connecting with nature. Okay, there are so many things of nature. Water is nature.
Wood is most important part of our life.
Okay, so that way air I can say is more important.
Most important part of our life.
हाँ तो
Air के बगैर तो
more
जी
important than air also.
air के बगैर तो जी नहीं सकते
हाँ तो
ना.
air भी रह सकती थी ना. तो ये टच वुड कहाँ से एक्सप्रेशन आ गया? अब मैं ये नहीं कह रहा हूँ आपको, हम लोग, मैं सिर्फ इस तरफ अंदेशा है मेरा कि जो एक्सप्रेशन हम जिंदगी भर यूज कर रहे हैं वो क्या है ये पता करने की हमने कोशिश नहीं करी. Why did we not try? Because knowing the answer would not have got us any extra increment in office. It wouldn't have given us any wealth. It wouldn't have given us better marks in our board exams. And आजकल का जो समाज है अपना, इंडिया का और यहाँ का, it is completely marks and money oriented. सैट के ग्रेड्स मेरे जब तक अच्छे नहीं रहते तब मुझे अच्छे कॉलेज में मिलेगा नहीं, तो जो सैट में पूछा जाता है उतना ही मैं. बाकी ये क्यों फालतू पूछ रहे हो टच वुड का क्या मतलब? ये सैट में आता है क्या? आता होगा तो मैं रटता हूँ, पर यदि नहीं आता है तो मुझे क्यों मतलब धौंस दिखा रहे हो? Now I am only referring to such. I have 2000 such questions which, but गांधी साहब ने मुझे कहा था कि भाई हमारे ग्रुप को मोटिवेट करना है आपको. मैं आपको 2000 में से 10 भी पूछूं तो आप लोग डिमोटिवेट होके यहाँ से वापस जाओगे कि यार क्या इन्होंने ऐसा आईना दिखा दिया अपने को कि आज की मीटिंग ना आते तो बेहतर रहता. वो जूम वाले कम से कम बंद तो कर सकते हैं, आप बंद भी नहीं कर सकते. अब आप उठ के चले जाओगे तो हमें पता लग जाएगा कि आप क्यों जा रहे हो. तो मैं आपको सिर्फ 3 सवाल ही पूछने वाला हूँ. You'll be surprised, touch wood is an expression which has completely come from Christianity. Because Jesus Christ was crucified on a wooden cross, for Christians, wood is holy. So जब वो कहते हैं touch wood, so they are actually invoking the power of Jesus Christ to भाई मेरा लक बरकरार रखो. It's okay. I mean, आपको टचवुड कहने में कोई दिक्कत नहीं. आप कहोगे मैं तो हिंदू हूं, मैं क्यों कहूं, तो उसमें मेरी कोई आपत्ति नहीं. आप जरूर कहिए. मेरा मतलब यही है कि सोच समझ करके कहिए, बगैर सोचे समझे मत कहिए. या जब तक उसका कोई अपने पास तो गूगल है ना, अभी दुनिया भर के आंसर्स वो देता है. 100% करेक्ट नहीं देता पर देता है. सो गो देयर, फाइंड आउट. This process of finding answers to various questions that are surrounding you is defined as curiosity. Why? Because by getting those answers, you are not getting a single amount of benefit in any other sphere. In spite of not getting those benefits, you are keen to find the answers to those questions. Scientists define curiosity like this. वो क्यूरियोसिटी नहीं जो कि आप कहो कि मैं तो स्कूल में पढ़ रहा हूँ तो हर रोज फिजिक्स का नया चैप्टर पढ़ता हूँ. अरे वो तो क्यूरियोसिटी इसलिए है कि तुम एग्जाम में पास नहीं होंगे, नहीं उस मकसद से आप पढ़ रहे हो. यहां मैं आपको बता रहा हूं कि यू शुड बी एबल टू फाइंड द आंसर्स टू दिस बाय हैबिट. इट शुड बी बाय हैबिट. अरे मुझे क्यों नहीं पता टचवुड मैं यूज क्यों कर रहा हूं, so let me try and find out. I'm sure within 5 minutes you'll find out. And then take the next question जो कि आपके इर्द गिर्द मंडरा रहा है. ऐसे हजारों लाखों सवाल है जिनके जवाब आपने ढूंढने की कभी कोशिश ही नहीं की है. इसमें since we are on that topic, I would request all of you please subscribe to my YouTube channel called, you can go to prakashshesh/youtube.com. वहां आपको every 15 days to 3 weeks I post what I call as a curiosity video. तो अभी तक कोई 37-38 मैंने पोस्ट कर दिए हैं. They are all 2 to 3 minute videos and they answer a question like this which appears very weird to us. तो आप करिए, मजा आएगा आपको. 2-3 मिनट का वीडियो, इससे बोर नहीं होंगे आप. तो लॉग इन करिए कभी आपको मौका मिलता
May I
है.
submit why wood is most important part of our life?
हाँ हाँ कहिए ना.
When a child is born, he is put in a falna.
Cradle. हाँ.
That was made of wood in
Okay.
olden time.
Okay.
All cooking was done on wood.
Okay.
At the time of death, when you will go to God, that earthy that we make,
That is also of wood.
that is also wood. When you are burnt,
That is also
That's
on
right.
wood. Correct.
so that's it, most important part of our life.
चलिए सर, मान लिया आपकी बात पर ये एक्सप्रेशन इंग्लैंड से निकला है ना. मेरा
इंडिया
कहना
का है ये
है
एक्सप्रेशन, यहाँ का नहीं है.
नहीं नहीं इंग्लैंड का है वो, इंडिया का भी नहीं है, इंग्लैंड का है. वो इंडिया में हम लोगों ने अपना लिया बिकॉज वो 200 साल राज कर रहे थे अपने ऊपर. तो आपने जो बातें कही वो सब एकदम 100% करेक्ट. ओके, माय सेकंड क्यूरियोसिटी क्वेश्चन टू यू, आई टेक अप ओनली 3. जब हम मंदिर में जाते हैं तो परिक्रमा क्यों लगाते हैं? Why do we go around the idol? I mean, what is the religious logic of that? I'm sure आप लोगों में से सब लोग मंदिर गए होंगे, और यदि आप मंदिर नहीं गए तो कम से कम हिंदू लोगों को मंदिर में प्रदक्षिणा लगाते हुए देखा होगा आपने. तो मैं पूछ रहा हूं कि बचपन से जो चीज हम करते आ रहे हैं वो क्यों करते हैं? मतलब उससे क्या हम हासिल करने की इच्छा रखते हैं? What is it that we are wanting to achieve by doing that? And you can give me a religious logic because that is a religious procedure. Religious logic differs from scientific logic, but we are not getting into that. The important part is that did you try to find out? You only said कि भाई मेरे को मेरे बड़ों ने बताया घर के, और वो मुझे जो बताएंगे वो जरूर मेरे हित का ही होगा. और अब मैं वो अपने बच्चों को बता रहा हूँ. हाँ जी कहिए.
मेरे घर में कथा सुनी है गणेश चतुर्थी पे. तो गणेश जी बुद्धिमान थे, उन्होंने अपने माता पिता की परिक्रमा करी थी.
हाँ.
सारे
वो कार्तिकेय ने करी थी.
हाँ,
हाँ.
नहीं गणेश ने की थी, कार्तिकेय.
हाँ सॉरी, यू आर राइट. कार्तिकेय सच्ची में गए प्रदक्षिणा करना, ये अपने माता. हाँ चलिए.
कार्तिकेय सब में चले गए.
हाँ ठीक है ठीक है.
तो मैं मंदिर जाती तो मैं तो नहीं करती, लेकिन मैं लोगों को
अच्छा
मैं सोचती हूँ कि वो ब्लेसिंग के लिए करते हैं कि हम सब भगवान की प्रदक्षिणा
नहीं
करें.
देखिए, मंदिर में जाकर हम जो भी करते हैं वो ब्लेसिंग्स के लिए ही करते हैं, इसके बारे में कोई दो राहें नहीं है. मैं कह रहा हूँ कि प्रदक्षिणा इतना इम्पोर्टेंट पार्ट क्यों है? हमको ये बताया जाता है कि परिक्रमा लगाए बगैर मंदिर से बाहर नहीं आना, और ये 2 मिनट वहां रुक के फिर ही आना. ये हमें बचपन से पुश्तों को बताया जा रहा है इंडिया में. मैं सिर्फ ये पूछ रहा हूँ कि हाँ जी आप कहिए.
God keeping in the middle to do all your work.
Okay, keeping God in the middle, you want to do all your
That
work.
means you keep the God in mind.
Okay, all right. हाँ जी.
See God in all perspectives, 160 degree, while we are in chapel.
Okay, so you want to see God everywhere around you. पर वो तो है ना, आपको तो बताया गया है कि he is there everywhere.
No, in idol, God's idol, just go around
Yeah.
360 degree.
Okay.
So yeah.
But somewhere I have read
हाँ
परिक्रमा,
हाँ
while you are sitting in the temple,
हाँ
you are getting tired.
You're getting tired.
tired, थक जाते हो,
Okay.
then you go on down this so
ताकि
that your parts become all right. This is
नहीं,
scientific
मतलब you think
way.
it's a
I
part?
have read in a book.
नहीं नहीं सर, गलत है, पता नहीं पढ़ा होगा आपने, लोग तो कई चीजें लिखते हैं, अब वो एक्सरसाइज के लिए क्यों आप जाएं?
दुनिया ही घूमती है।
हाँ,
दुनिया ही stable
इसका सही कारण मैं आपको आज बता देता हूँ, ताकि you can go and spread the knowledge. It's religious logic. I ask this question only to demonstrate to you what curiosity means. It is not there in any syllabus. अब गांधी साहब ने VJTI से मैकेनिकल इंजीनियरिंग किया, उनकी किसी सिलेबस में था नहीं, और रहने की जरूरत भी नहीं। आप कहोगे ये चीज सिलेबस में डालने से क्या मतलब है? उसका सही अर्थ ऐसा है कि जब आप परिक्रमा करते हो भगवान के आइडल को, तो यू आर सपोज टू रिसाइट अ मंत्र। अब वो मैं मंत्र 2 लाइन का कह देता हूँ, दैट इज नॉट सो इम्पोर्टेंट, वो भावना महत्वपूर्ण है। यू आर सपोज टू से यानि कानिश्च पापानि जन्मांतर कृतानि च तानि तानि विनश्यन्ति प्रदक्षिण पदे पदे। Pada means foot. You are supposed to do pradakshina on foot, and you will be surprised. This is a procedure recommended. This is a procedure recommended so that you are telling God that, oh God, with every step that I take in this pradakshina, please cancel one sin of mine that I have done in this janam. And Hinduism believes in punarjanam, so in my previous janam. So it is basically a sin cancellation procedure. Every religion has sin cancellation procedures. In Christianity, you go to the confession box. In Hinduism, you can go to Ganges और एक डुबकी लगा के वहां अपने पाप धो सकते हैं आप. But this is the cheapest, so I included it here because I am telling you of zero cost strategies. It doesn't cost you anything. Go to the nearest temple, do a pradakshina. पर आपके मन में ही ये विचार नहीं हो, तो क्यों वो भगवान माफ करेगा आपके पाप? अरे कम से कम अप्लाई तो करो पाप माफ करने के लिए. Without an application, why would the Almighty, All right. I am cutting short because we have less of time. Let me quickly go through the other strategies. I am restricting only to those 2 questions. But if you go to my website, to my YouTube channel, as of now, there are something like 38 curiosity questions posted there. And I'm sure you'll be able to get answers to many of the questions which, The 7th strategy is, if you want to maximize happiness, increase the sources from which you get happiness. Hobbies give us happiness, don't they?
Yeah.
Gardening gives you happiness, singing gives you, brisk walking gives you, swimming gives you, all kinds of things. Different people get happiness from different things.
Traveling.
Yeah, traveling could give you happiness. America में तो एकदम travel वाले बिल्कुल यहाँ का principal happiness है. मैं अपने घर में भी देखता हूँ, मेरा लड़का लड़की और मैं जो ये हैं, हम कल ही पोर्टो रिको से वापस आए, तो उनको तो हर 3-4 महीने में जैसे कोई एक चूरन की पुड़िया दो, वैसे ट्रैवलिंग अच्छी लगती है कि भाई चलो कहीं घूमने चलते हैं. Good, very good. What I'm saying is, if you want to maximize your happiness, then increase the sources from where you will get happiness, which means develop more hobbies, and automatically, if there are more sources of happiness, you will be happier. The 8th strategy is live life according to your own beliefs without hurting others. Those people who live life according to someone else's beliefs are actually living I would say, a borrowed life kind of a thing. अब हम बचपन में क्या होता था, अपने पेरेंट्स के मुताबिक जिंदगी जीते थे, until the time we started earning on our own. तो वो ठीक भी था, because person who finances your activities has the right to tell you what to do, and you got to do it even though you may not like it. When you start earning yourself, fine, you go according to what you think. इस कंट्री में तो वो एकदम एक्सट्रीम पे चला जाता है. यहाँ कोई किसी की सुनने को तैयार नहीं है. मतलब जितने जल्दी बढ़ के घर से बाहर निकले, उतने ही लोगों को आनंद आता है. मतलब देखिए, ये मैक्सिमाइजेशन ऑफ हैप्पीनेस का लेक्चर मैं यदि ऑल अमेरिकन ऑडियंस को देता, so they wouldn't agree with many of the things that I would have told you. They would have said the most thing, the maximum happiness I will get is by leaving my parents. पर अब हम लोग उस एनवायरनमेंट में बड़े हुए नहीं हैं. अब हमारे आगे की जनरेशन जो अमेरिका में है, वो शायद वैसा सोचेगी. But the crux of the matter is live life according to what you believe. And as long as what you believe in doesn't harm others, doesn't hurt others, live life according to your own beliefs. And that is what will give you the maximum amount of happiness. My ninth strategy is once again easier said than done, is forgive and forget. जिंदगी में हमें इतने बार इतने मकामों पे लोग हर्ट करते हैं कि हमें ऐसा लगता है कि यार बची हुई जिंदगी ने इस पे जब तक मैं अपना बदला नहीं ले लेता तब तक मतलब मैं अतृप्त आत्मा करके मर जाऊंगा, इसका बदला मुझे लेना ही है. He showed me in a bad light, let me take revenge. Revenge is good on the sports field. It is good there. But in normal life, revenge is, I mean, I have a very favorite sentence. I don't know where I read it from, but I just thought I'll bring it to you. It says, jealousy and anger are agents of death. The more jealous you are of others and the more angry you get, the nearer you are coming to your final departure. So therefore, try and forgive and forget. But as I said, it's easier said than done.
That comes from Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. My 10th strategy is that hypocrisy and double standards lead to unhappiness. So therefore, if you want to be happy, then you should shun both these things. Hypocrisy मतलब कैसा, मेरे को कई लोग मिलते हैं इस देश में भी और उस देश में भी, वो कहते हैं साहब हम गुरुवार को नॉन वेजिटेरियन नहीं खाते. अरे मैंने कहा भाई ये क्या बात है, या तो आप नॉन वेजिटेरियन खाओ, which is okay, you are living according to your own beliefs, which is fine with me, पर गुरुवार को हम नहीं खाएंगे. So according to me, this is a good example of hypocrisy. या तो सभी दिन मत खाओ, या गुरुवार को कोई सही कारण है तो बताओ. आप ये कह सकते हो कि भी हफ्ते में एक दिन हम नॉनवेज नहीं खाएंगे, जरा पेट पे जोर कम पड़े इसके लिए, तो मैं समझ सकता हूँ. पर गुरुवार को नहीं खाऊंगा, सोमवार को नहीं खाऊंगा क्योंकि फलाने भगवान का वो दिन है वगैरह, ऐसे में जरा मुझे थोड़ी गड़बड़ लगती है. डबल स्टैंडर्ड इंडिया में तो बहुत, मतलब यहाँ के डबल स्टैंडर्ड अभी मैं इतना ज्यादा यहाँ रहा नहीं हूँ, आप लोग रहे हुए हैं, पर मैं इतने ज्यादा उदाहरण इसलिए दे नहीं सकता यहाँ के डबल स्टैंडर्ड्स के. पर इंडिया के डबल स्टैंडर्ड्स तो मतलब बहुत है. यू विल वर्शिप गॉडेसेस देन ट्रबल योर डॉटर इन लॉ. मतलब अब ये क्या है भाई, डाउरी में ठीक ही है, वो ट्रेडिशन है, क्योंकि क्यों मेरे लड़के क्यों ब्याह हो रहा है, मेरे लड़की के ब्याह के समय डाउरी को ऐसा क्रिटिसाइज किया मैंने कि कुछ पूछो मत. तो ये डबल स्टैंडर्ड्स हो गए. तो डबल स्टैंडर्ड्स डोंट लीड टू हैप्पीनेस. I am on to my last two strategies. Be in the company of younger persons if you want to increase your happiness. I keep telling my son, who is a professor in Northeastern here, he is on a very good wicket. पहले तो टीचिंग का जॉब मुझे खुद को बड़ा अच्छा लगता है. कहाँ है जहाँ साल में 2 महीना छुट्टी मिले आपको. दूसरा, you are constantly in company with younger minds, younger people, and we just said younger people are happier than us. So if you remain in their company, automatically some of that happiness will rub off on you, won't it?
Yeah.
To choose to be, I mean, in your situation, you may not be a teacher, you may not be a professor. Try to be amongst younger people in whichever manner and howsoever it is possible. And you'll suddenly find that the happiness quotient in yourself is going up. Because the whole environment, at least for those 1 or 2 hours or whatever, you are in a happier environment. And my last strategy about how to maximize your happiness is, I'm sure, probably would have been realized by many amongst you. Philanthropy increases happiness. I mean, you give. When you give, and you don't have to give money only, you can give a smile. इस मामले में ये देश मुझे बड़ा अच्छा लगता है. अरे स्ट्रेंजर लोग जाते जाते हंसते हैं आपकी तरफ देख के, हाय कहते हैं. इंडिया में ऐसा कोई कहता हूँ कि क्या, व्हाट डज ही वांट, क्यों ये मेरी तरफ देख के हंस रहा है. I mean, does he want something from me? I didn't know him. I don't know. There was no reason for him to smile. तो ये इस देश की चीज मुझे बड़ी अच्छी लगती. तो बड़े खुश मिजाज लोग हैं, कम से कम दिखाने के मामले में तो है ही, अंदर पता नहीं क्या है. उनके 2-3 डिवोर्सेस हो गए हैं शायद, पर बाहर दिखाने के लिए बड़े खुश मिजाज लोग हैं. तो I like this. So give, and give does not necessarily mean give money. You can give a smile, you can give a greeting, you can give help, you can give advice if it has been asked for, whatever. So therefore, this equation is very good for happiness. मतलब mathematically ये equation यदि मैं कहूँ कि 100 minus 20 is equal to 150. You will say, what's this guy? Where have you studied mathematics? But in the field of philanthropy or in the field of happiness, as we are saying, if you had 100 units of happiness with you, let's say, and if you gave 20 of them to someone else, you realize that what is remaining with you is more than what it should have been. It is not 100 minus 20 is equal to 80. It is 100 minus 20 is equal to 130 or 150. Now, why don't we follow such a simple method then? और पैसे देने की जरूरत नहीं है. आप कहोगे साहब मेरे पास इतने पैसे हैं नहीं, मैं वॉरेन बफेट तो हूं नहीं, तो ठीक है ना, आप प्रकाश शेष तो है ना, कुछ तो दे सकते हैं ना, जो दे सकते हैं वही दीजिए. तो गिविंग इंक्रीजेस हैप्पीनेस इज अ प्रूवन काइंड ऑफ अ मैक्सिम. तो आगे से आप सोचिए कि देने से यदि मेरा सुख आनंद बढ़ता हो तो क्यों ना मैं इसका इस्तेमाल करूं. चलिए, आई हैव शेयर्ड ऑल द 12 strategies with you. I'll end with a small anecdote, which is just a 1-minute anecdote, and I'm sure we'll all part on a. I like my meetings to be light-hearted. ताकि कम से कम यदि मैं जो कह रहा हूँ वो लोगों को पसंद ना आए तो कम से कम वो ये तो ना कहें कि यार बहुत बोर किया आपने. वो जाए कि हाँ ठीक है यार, तुमने जो कहा वो कोई खास मुझे जचा नहीं, पर ठीक है मजा आया. बाद में गांधी जी ने डिनर लंच वगैरह भी अरेंज किया था तो हम भूल गए उसमें जो कुछ भी आपने बताया था, पर मजा आया. हाँ, तो मजा आना इज इम्पोर्टेंट, especially when you are listening to a speaker who's trying to put some thoughts of his onto your mind. मजा आना is very important, क्योंकि मजा नहीं आया तो वो बिल्कुल दिमाग के यहीं से रिफ्लेक्ट हो जाते हैं. And I am reminded of this anecdote, especially when I address an august audience like yours and on Zoom. Two friends met after many years of college. They were together in college and they met after many years. So one friend says to the other, I remember for your PhD you were doing a research on how to raise kids and something like that. Your subject in psychology was that, how to raise kids effectively वगैरह. कैसा हुआ? तो वो दूसरा बोलता है कि oh yes, you still remember that? Oh, my PhD dissertation was a success. I got a PhD and I developed 7 theories of effectively raising children. You बोला यार मान गए तुमको, मतलब now that you got married and all, you must have really found it easy to raise kids. He said यार यही तो दुख है. Now I have 7 children but no theories. All my theories during the PhD dissertation have all been proved useless. तो ऐसा ना आपको लगे मैंने कई थियरीज यहाँ प्रोपाउंड करी, हो सकता है इनमें से आपको कोई यूजलेस लगी हो तो कोई दिक्कत नहीं, कोई दिक्कत नहीं. Remember, intelligent people don't agree with each other. So I'm sure all of you would like to feel that you are intelligent and also make me feel कि चलो मैं भी intelligent था. So thank you very much for giving me such a patient here.
Thank you very much. So we all learned a lot of things here and how to be happy here. So the next time when we see each other, we smile. At least we give the smile and say hello. Right? Now I'd like to request Rita Shah to honor Mr. Prakash with a bouquet of flowers.
Thank you very much. It is really, really wonderful. We learned so much today. I have Rotary too, our past president of Rotary, Balika Breakfast Rotary Club. So I'm so glad to have one of our colleagues. Okay. Thank you very much. It was amazing. We learned a lot of things. Good idea. Thank you. I hope you come back again. We love to learn more from you.
Sure.
Okay. It's amazing. I know you have a short trip here, but please come back, visit us. We'd love to have you and come and celebrate, and we can learn from all of you. Okay.
Thank you. Sure.
Thank you.
So everybody on Zoom, thank you very much. We're going to end this session. And if you could, please send your emails so we can send you the today's session. And I have to start another session now for the meditation. Everybody remain quiet.